Oh, hi, podcast listeners. There's many ways you can listen to the Real Nerds podcast. You can subscribe on iTunes. You can also subscribe on Stitcher Radio. You want to send us a Twitter message? You can do that. It's so easy, at Real Nerds. Like us on Facebook, Real Nerds Podcast. You can visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com, where there'll be a lot of articles for you to not only read, but to listen to our previous shows. Do you like your stories told through pictures? Then you can also follow us at Real Nerds on Instagram. You can also call us, 720-6nerds5. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast. We are the best podcast about movies on the internet. Scientifically verified, and that's just not a theory. I am Ryan. I am joined by Brad.
Hey.
And Zach.
Hello.
I think someone's joining us, Brad, for the first time in like 3 months.
Who is this guy?
Somebody you guys need to keep in the text thread a little bit more consistently, because I never know when we're recording anymore.
That's because we never know when we're recording until we do it. So
that is true.
Because our schedules are so out of whack.
Yeah. No. Schedules have been all over the place on this end. So I'm happy to be here, though, to talk about the ultimate double feature.
That is correct. Part of the internet sensation that started, and we jumped on the wagon. This week on Real Nerds Podcast, we saw Oppenheimer and Barbie, because every week we see a new movie and podcast our experience to the world. But this week, it was something that I don't know how it started, and it grew organically, and it's kind of interesting. No matter how much money studios spend on marketing, both these studios could not have asked for a better organic grassroots marketing that someone started online that continued
it seemed
all
like
the
it's
way to sustain these films to have huge opening weekends.
It seems like it sprouted initially from those release dates, and I was actually reading that. I have zero idea if this is true, but there was a theory posited out that Barbie was slated for that same day as Oppenheimer as a bit of a snapback for Nolan having left Warner Brothers, but it doesn't sound that.
I mean,
especially
I get that, but I'm talking about how it started, and movie fans are the ones who made it what it is.
Yeah, because it on the surface it's ridiculous but you would think that you wouldn't try to push these two big movies together, but counter programming has always been a thing. Like, it's amazing how people are discovering that counter programming exists. Like my sister pointed out, like, do you remember when Dark Knight came out and Mamma Mia came out on the same day? And I'm like, that's right. There used to be a time where we had various movies and not just one tentpole each week. So it's kind of cool that people just took that in stride and embraced it. Like, it's pretty magical, to be honest.
Plus, too, they couldn't be more polar opposites. You got like one about death and destruction, and then another one about like fun bubblegum pop and
It's
on
like
the surface.
I did find that there is another double bill that might be even more diametrically opposite coming in October, because Saw X, or not October, I guess it's whenever, because Saw moved their date. It's going to be Saw X and the Paw Patrol movie. So I think that like this is the year where two movies are going to be clashing and seeing who wins. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious before we start, how are your guys' audiences? Because pre-sales and people buying ahead of time have been off the charts nuts. I'm just wondering, like, how How did you guys like experience this? Like, was it boisterous, or was it more like everybody's just kind of watching the movie politely and then clapping and leaving?
Well, I think again, they're two totally different films, and I saw mine, I think 4 or 5 days apart. So, my crowd I saw with Barbie was having a lot of fun. And last night when I went and saw Oppenheimer in 70 millimeter, I was concerned because there was like these teenagers, a lot of them that went to see it. Mm-hmm. And I go, oh man, I know this is just a drama with a lot of talking heads, and I don't know how it's going to go. And they were quiet the whole time. So, again, two separate movies and two separate I'm just experiences with both.
I'm glad to hear that there was a bunch of people just packed in at 11 o'clock at night, though. That's remarkable.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've seen Barbie twice and Oppenheimer all late at night. And the first one was Barbie, and just going to see a movie at a theater that late and just seeing, people staying up late enough for that. Like the Barbie showing I went into, I was like, cool, I'm going in because I'm the only one here. And by the time it started, like this whole row of obnoxious, like, I don't know, teens and family members. It's like a family that had like a variety of age groups. And yeah, they were talking at first, but they settled in. And then a couple days later, I saw Oppenheimer. And again, I was like, God, this is 11 o'clock for a 3-hour drama. And like all these people are here. Like, I'm used to just walking into a ghost town. And, yeah, that was even more packed, like even more than Barbie. And, there was this weird, like, a lot of people just kept coming in. Like, I'd say like 40 minutes in the movie, there's still people wandering in with their popcorn and stuff, or like talking in the hallway. I was like, can we just settle down here? Like, I'm trying to pay attention to this fast paced friggin' movie that's like doing a bunch of stuff. And then, a couple days ago, I saw Barbie again late at night, and, still, I don't know, like 20 people, and, the crowd outside seemed like even though Barbie's doing better, it seemed like all the audiences I've been like seeing waiting in the lobby over Oppenheimer at that hour. So
yeah. My only guess would be is because Oppenheimer doesn't have as many screenings because it's 3 hours long.
Yeah, they're gonna have an initial handicap no matter what. I mean, and I don't feel like ratings matter much anymore, but it is an R-rated 3-hour drama, so there's a couple of handicaps in its way, but the numbers that it's showing for a 3-hour talkie drama are pretty astounding. Like, that doesn't really happen anymore. Those movies will generally make about like maybe 10 to 20 million over the course of their first couple of weeks. So that's a remarkable feat that only Nolan's able to accomplish, which he's kind of done this before with Dunkirk, but that's a war film and it's got action abound in it. So it's definitely it's an interesting situation we find ourselves in, seeing the returns come in this weekend.
So on Real Nerds Podcast, we usually talk about a movie, some movie news, and what we've been watching. But this week, because there's two movies, we're going to skip the news because everything's on strike and it doesn't matter.
The news is Barbenheimer's here.
Yes. So we'll review each movie, recommend or not, play a trailer, and then spoil it. And then we'll talk about something we watched this week. First, we saw Oppenheimer. Brad, do you recommend Oppenheimer?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. It's a quality film. It's put together well. It's acted well. I just don't know. It's like Schindler's List. Like, I enjoyed what I watched, but I don't know if I'm like super anxious to rewatch it. And it goes by, like, there's so much going on. Like, I had trouble keeping up. I don't know if that's just an effect of it was 11 o'clock at night and I was too tired to keep up, and, all these people in the hallway were distracting me, or not. But, Yeah, it's like it's a quality film. It's just it's a little over my head, given the pacing and distractions.
Zach?
I absolutely recommend it. It's definitely one of the best films I've seen this year. I think it's kind of remarkable that they took a 700 plus page book and put it into 3 hours. And I haven't finished American Prometheus, but it seems like every single thing you'd want in that movie is in the movie. That's kind of a screenwriting achievement all its own. I have one or two little minor quibbles, but like there are things that are exceptions rather than the overall feeling. I think it's a grand achievement to do a 3 hour talkie drama that demanded to be seen on as big a screen as possible, because it totally justified that decision. So yeah, I would definitely go see it.
Yeah, it's a really good film. I mean, I would push back a little bit. I don't know if you have to see it on the biggest screen, only because it's literally people talking, and I don't think it's like mind blowing on the big screen. Because like I said, I saw it in the 70mm, and it is cool seeing it in film. The performances are incredible. I would argue that it made so much money because Robert Downey Jr. is incredible in the film, but you know, it's just me. Here's the trailer for Oppenheimer.
This is a national emergency.
Detonator charged.
We're in a race against the Nazis. And I know what it means if the Nazis have a bomb.
They have a 12-month head start.
18.
How could you possibly know that?
We've got one hope. All America's industrial might and scientific innovation connected here. A secret laboratory. Keep everyone there until it's done.
Let's go recruit some scientists.
Build a town, build it fast. If we don't let scientists bring their families, we'll never get the best.
Why would we go to the middle of nowhere for who knows how long?
Why? Why? How about because this is the most important thing to ever happen in the history of the world?
You're the great improviser, but this you can't do in your head.
Are we saying there's a chance that when we push that button, we destroy the world?
Chances are near zero.
Near zero.
What do you want from theory alone?
0 would be nice.
This is a matter of life and death. But I can perform this miracle.
World War II would be over. Our boys would come home.
That's happening, isn't it?
The world will remember this day. Our work here will ensure a peace mankind has never seen.
Until somebody builds a bigger one.
You are the man who gave them the power to destroy themselves. And the world is not prepared.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Truman needs to know what's next.
2.
What's next?
1.
There's a really funny video circulating on the internet, and I know this guy did this on purpose. In the countdown before the bomb goes off, he it counts down and he lets out this really huge fart. So I mean, he knew he was going to do it, and it was in the theater, and it's really funny. So you should seek that out on YouTube. Just do Oppenheimer fart.
Hey, so you saw it in 70 millimeter too. Did you ever notice like a cigarette burn in the screen? Because I didn't.
No, was there supposed to be one?
No, I don't think they do that anymore. They're able to paste those things in pretty seamlessly, and you don't change reels that way anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it the whole time. I was like, is this still digital?
No, it's funny. I thought about that with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in 35 because I believe I saw those burns, but I'd have to imagine that might be something that they added in because it's all on there's larger platter systems now. And unless you're seeing the IMAX print that's supposed to be like 600 pounds, I don't know if they're going to have to change the reel that way necessarily. I could be very wrong though, because it's been so long since I've seen an actual film projector ever.
It did give me warm feelings to see like the flicker of the light, which I hasn't seen in a while. Like it was, very faintly going out.
Brad, I mean, I don't know if you could. I could tell that it was film, for
I
sure.
couldn't.
No,
Yeah,
I thought it had this like color to it that I could tell. Anywho, Oppenheimer tells the story of J. Robert Oppenheimer, almost his whole life. It interweaves his involvement in the Manhattan Project, which is developing an atomic bomb for the United States government for World War II, what they intend to use on the Nazis, because Oppenheimer is upset obviously about how they treat the Jewish community and the genocide of the Jews in Germany. And it just traces his life throughout that period. And it does kind of interweave the quote unquote present to the past and his relationships he has not only with his wife and his mistress and Robert Downey Jr.'s character, Louis Strauss, throughout this whole time. And you see a lot of what I thought was really fascinating is a lot of men with ego, and not either one of them are right, and they each kind of have their own comeuppance throughout the film. Because what I learned when I watched it is, Oppenheimer, for all his brilliance and stuff, he was, a womanizer and arrogant, and he thought he was smarter than everybody else, which he kind of was. But and then you see the political side of it with Strauss and how he was trying to ruin Oppenheimer. Very fascinating, because another reason why I didn't get that much sleep, I stayed awake and I read about this whole thing that is kind of the crux of the whole film, of him having a hearing to see if he keeps his clearance or not, because he goes from, the father of the atomic age and help develop this bomb to being kind of a pariah and an outcast in Washington. So, it's just, that's the whole plot of the film.
Yeah. I went to IMAX digital, so I haven't seen a film print yet, but watching the black and white footage on that biggest screen and watching some of the parts of scope that they were dealing with, I don't disagree with you, Ryan. Like, technically you don't need like the IMAX format for that long of a talkie drama, but there are moments where I personally felt very like immersed in a way that I think the IMAX screens tended to help, especially when they're out in Los Alamos. But that black and white stock footage that they created black and white IMAX film in order to film it that way. It had never been created before. And watching Strauss unwind, like, I like Robert Downey Jr. in other movies. If he doesn't get nominated for an Oscar for this film, then I have no idea I don't know what else to do, because that is possibly one of the trickiest roles he's ever had to play, because he does not start out as a piece of shit in the way they tell the story. And you start slowly watching him unwind a little bit over the course of the 3 hours. And he is is masterful the way he is handling it, as equally masterful as how Oppenheimer's being played by Cillian Murphy. Like that, the watching those hearing sequences, like it kind of made you feel like you were in the room a little bit, and you felt just as awkward as everybody else in that room, going like, nobody wants to be here. You were the father of the atomic bomb, but yeah, are you a commie? Like, I kind of felt the tension with that kind of scope attached to it. I will say, did anybody have an issue with the lack of, lack of discussion surrounding the actual aftermath, because they do not show any footage of Hiroshima, and they do show him reacting to the footage. And I don't think it's handled incorrectly per se, but I did feel like it sort of lacks some parts of Oppenheimer fully dealing with the consequences of it. I think it's there, but I feel like there's an element missing a little bit, just a tiny bit.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think I need to see the footage to know what
it doesn't even have
to those
to...
people. And
yeah,
I mean, I get what you're saying. You know, that's, if you feel that way, that's fine. There's the parts of the film that I know what they're trying to accomplish, but I think it also goes into Nolan sometimes, and he's a great filmmaker. I'm not taking anything away from a filmmaker, but when he's Oppenheimer's at the rally at the end after they drop the bomb, and he's being that very patriotic speech, but he's also seeing people of the effects of the bomb. I think it's a little too bombastic and on the nose. I was more intrigued by, the relationships the scientists had with each other and how they really don't trust each other. And then, he comes back and he's this, great big hero. And Gary Oldman's small but really interesting part of Harry Truman and how he felt about Oppenheimer.
Don't let that crybaby back in here. Jesus.
But yeah, it's, because too, I think for Oppenheimer to be that ignorant to what the effects of what he was doing, I think is really well handled in it too, where he's so arrogant that he's going to create this incredible weapon, and they play with it throughout the film that he knows what it's going to do, but it doesn't stop him because he is obsessed with being the center of attention, where I think, they expose that no matter how bad Robert Downey Jr.'s character, quote unquote, is to him. I don't think he's wrong in his assessment of who Oppenheimer is.
I don't think there. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that there's not a quote unquote good guy here to root for specifically. I think more of your empathy lies with Oppenheimer because of his realization after the fact. But you're right. They don't position it in that traditional. Here's your sympathetic character and here's your villain. It really does allow for that situation to unfold as you be the judge, which I don't think is something that Nolan has done in this way before. I mean, obviously you can throw the end of Inception in there and be like, well, did the die fall or whatever? But this one gives you a little bit of an interesting ambiguity where you've got to figure out where you stand. I don't know.
I think Oppenheimer's a dickhead. I mean, he literally cheats on his wife. He tries. His wife obviously has a drinking problem. He, wants to give away his son because him and his wife, it gets in the way of his, advancement in science and her happiness. So, I mean, honestly, I think he is somewhat the villain of the story. Because his arrogance and his quest for finding out knowledge is,
Mm-hmm.
although it advances science in incredible ways, it also, reveals how not good of a person he is.
Well, it's also, it's Branagh and Einstein are talking about it there, several different points. It's just like, you can't put the genie back in the bottle in on this one. And like, and Strauss is no saint either. I mean, he's a complete, like, politically motivated. He's motivated in a political sense the way Oppenheimer is motivated in a scientific sense. And they're diametrically connected by an addiction to this rush that they get from trying to achieve something. And neither of them gets what they want at the end. Nobody gets anything. If anything, the world is more complicated as a result.
But he also didn't drive his mistress to kill herself. So, I mean, there's
that is very true. Yeah. That is a rough part of the movie. An extremely rough part of the movie. And I think Florence Pugh handles that very well, by the way. Like,
oh no, she's great in the film.
Yeah.
So, Brad, I will just say that I don't think you're wrong. It didn't go over your head. There's a lot to unpack. I think especially in the first hour of the movie, when they start advancing theories and you're introduced to characters so fast. Yeah.
Yeah. When it got to the third act, when they delve into the Robert Downey Jr. conspiracy plot to frame Oppenheimer or whatever, or take him down, it's like, oh, there's like a third movie here going on. Like,
I know. You're right. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, because like it first starts out like, okay, here's the traditional, like, he grew up in college and he tried to poison his teacher. Okay, and then it gets like, okay, here's the bomb part that I expected, but then there's like this whole like, like the stuff in Congress is in the beginning too, but I didn't think it'd be like the whole third act of like, now we're gonna take him down. Like,
yeah,
that's why this is 3 hours long.
Mm-hmm. But again, it brings it to a head. Like these there's similarities between each character, like in the long run. Like obviously specifics, like Oppenheimer's like has a lot more skeletons in the closet, but they're running into that same conclusion of like basically by the end, like at almost the same point, like it's reaching the conclusion of neither is going to get the result that they want. He's going to lose his clearance, and then eventually Strauss is not going to get that cabinet position. I kind of wish that they had evened out that presentation a little bit more. But I didn't mind a courtroom drama for the third act by any means. Like, if anything, it kept me on the edge of my seat because I haven't finished the book, so I don't know all the specifics that the book will have to unfold. But man, he definitely nails the intrigue part, because I didn't want to leave the screen. And also I do love how they bring it back around to that Einstein conversation by the lake. It was a great way to end the whole thing, just on that very sobering thought of like what his actions have brought upon the world at large. Because there's no like I was wondering what people meant by they walked out stumbling, and I kind of understood walking out, because I was just like, man, like I think you almost feel like the entire world is just collapsing into your head, and you're trying to suss out all the pieces and you can't, which is why going to see Barbie afterwards kind of helps with that.
And then also the like when Oppenheimer would kind of almost have like a little rage fit, and they do like the whitewash and the like shaking background behind him, I thought was a little cheesy.
Yeah, I
like,
agree.
Oh, he's about to be an exploding bomb himself. Like
it's a little on the nose. Yeah. Looks cool to watch him do physical stuff like that, like without any CGI stuff. But yeah, it's cheesy.
Yeah, but I mean, you're getting it's an incredible filmmaker and an incredible cast. I mean, people kind of haven't been talking about Emily Blunt, but she's great in the film too. She, she has a couple scenes. I like when she's screaming at him for being so, you shook his hand. Like, why aren't you fighting back, and
yeah, she's not getting enough credit. I think when you read reviews, it almost feels like people are thinking she's too relegated. I'm like, well, that may be in the grand scheme of a 3-hour film, but I think she brings a lot to the film. And the scene where she's giving her testimony and then she sees the mistress and him making love. She's put in a very complex situation to deal with, and when she's giving out her testimony. So,
well, yeah, because I mean, she has that great moment where she's mad at him, and she's, he says, "You knew about that." She said, "Yeah, but now it's on the record that you're a piece of shit." So,
yep. Also, I did make the note. It's really great to have a Nolan movie that doesn't have a stream of bullets like riddling through the sound design, but we'll say that when I knew the explosion was going to happen, I covered my ears because like intensity jitters with me these days. And I thought for a second, like, oh, okay, maybe he's not going to do the whole kaboom and it's just going to be an effective silence. And then just as I let my ears, open my ears again, bam, all the speakers hit me and I wanted to yell out like, God damn it, he did it again. And that sequence with the explosion does look amazing. Like considering that he did that practically, it's remarkable looking. And it does look good on an IMAX screen, that scene.
Agreed.
Yep.
But remember, Zach, they were, 10 miles away, so the shock and the bang takes a while to get there.
Well, look, when you get off of a shift at work and then you go for a couple hours of sleep and you get up, you're not necessarily thinking about the equidistance of sound. You're just like, I'm here to watch movie. But yeah, no. And I will say that, like, I know he gets shit for his sound design overall, but like, I thought this was, sounded perfectly fine. I could hear everything clearly. I have no complaints.
No. I mean, yeah. Give Robert Downey Jr. his Oscar. That's all I want.
Agreed.
Brad, anything you want to end on?
No, I covered everything. It's also I saw Oppenheimer like a week ago at this point, so it's harder to remember the stuff that happened in a 3-hour movie. I saw it at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, well, it's also, too, it's so, like, dense, like the script. Not in a bad way. It's just, I mean, there's tons of scenes of people just talking fast about theory, and then it'll jump cut to them talking, like, fast about foreign policy, and then it'll jump cut to him talking about the communists at a communist party. It's like, okay,
yeah,
a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, there's very little, like, just downtime of letting anything breathe. Like, it's just constantly moving.
So after we got our minds blown by Oppenheimer,
boo.
Hey, you take back my incredible dad joke, boo.
No.
Deserved. We also saw Barbie. Brad, do you recommend Barbie?
I already said I saw it twice, so and
so thought you hate watched it twice. You're the Ben Shapiro of Real Nerds Podcast.
Oh yeah. No,
I forgot a couple things that I could I needed to get some more specific examples to put in my review bomb on IMDb.
Oh God.
No. I haven't bought it yet, but I want to get the soundtrack. So
I know. I need I Am Ken in my life.
Yep. I'm shocked that there's like 2 competing best songs this year for me between Peaches and This Is I Am Ken. So yeah, Barbie is a ton of fun and way deeper than I thought it was going to be.
Agreed.
So yeah, we'll talk about it in more detail in a minute.
Zach?
Yeah. To hell with that reviewer who shall remain nameless. Go see this movie. It's a lot of fucking fun. I agree, hands down. I was not expecting the depth that this movie was going to go to. Although, I guess, knowing Greta Gerwig was involved and Noah Baumbach on the script as well, I should have expected at least a portion of that, but no, this film goes into some crazy, weird directions, all for the better. And I will say that never in my life have I ever heard a monologue in a movie theater get a round of applause. But we'll talk about it in after the trailer. But there's a monologue that got a rousing reception right in the middle of the movie. I was dumbfounded. So yeah, go see Barbie. Bring your friends. Have a fun, fantastic time.
Yeah, on everything you guys said, I think it's one of the most fun I had at the film flex this year. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
The Filmadome.
Yeah, it's really great and catchy songs. Even the Pink song when Barbie wakes up is really catchy.
There's two versions of it, actually.
Yeah, there is two versions of it in the movie, and the meta humor is so spot on that I need to see it again to catch it all. But here's the trailer for Barbie.
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Barbie stars Margot Robbie as stereotypical Barbie. And it's her journey when she wakes up one morning and she doesn't have, the arched feet, and she has cellulite, and her perfect world starts coming apart. And we get glimpses of why it might be happening. And she's able to break out of Barbie land and go into the real world. And, and then more insanity ensues. But yeah, it's hard, to unpack this film, not because it's hard to unpack, just there's so much going on. And that's why some people that are hate reviewing it, I know they haven't seen the film, because there's a moment in it, and I know this is I'm starting at the end at the beginning just because I want to get this off my chest, is there is also a bit about the toxic part of how Barbie treats Ken. And that is not even talked about, which I think it should, because there, Barbie, stereotypical Barbie, has, it's always Barbie and Ken. Why can't it be just Barbie and just Ken? Mm-hmm. And that's also, an example of Alan, Michael Cera's character, who is Ken's best friend. There's only one of him.
And all of his clothes fit him.
Yeah. But what's really cool about it, and what I think is really fascinating, is the dialogue, the humor is all written as if it was a child playing with the dolls. Mm-hmm. Ken's job is beach. And everybody in this film is so good. And whether it's, Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, and I love the evolution of, Ken starts off as, Barbie's boyfriend. He'll do anything for her. And then he becomes the villain of the movie.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because when he gets in the real world, he realizes that just being a man makes him, more important than everybody else.
He gets infected with patriarchy.
Yeah. I mean, he thought it was just horses, and when he found out it wasn't, he lost interest.
that is my favorite line in the movie.
But it deconstructs how people look at things, and even something as simple as when Barbie confronts the girl she thinks is the reason why she's having all these issues, and she tears Barbie down, because I know you guys have heard it about why Barbie is bad for girls. Mm-hmm. It's really fascinating to me how this film is so meta. It deconstructs everything that Barbie and Ken stand for, but then puts it back together in a way where you're like, yeah, these are important toys for children.
Yeah. I think like because you were pointing to Ken being the villain, I would argue that like he becomes a quasi villain. The villain is an idea and a construct of society. The villain is the patriarchy essentially. That's the idea is the villain, and the way that they use this along with the tropes that get associated with Barbie to turn it into a positive think piece about it, not just Barbie, but in general, like what we consume and what we attach gender to. There's a scene that like broke my heart, and it's one of my favorite things Margot Robbie has ever done, is when she goes up to the little girl that she thinks is playing with her, and that the girl with her friends just completely tears her down with the arguments against Barbie. And you just see Margot Robbie has just lost it emotionally. She goes like, "Oh, excuse me." And she just walks right off. It's like, it's a small little acting thing. It means nothing apart from the fact that you are just watching a character that you are being presented with an idea that diametrically opposes what you have experienced for the first, 30 to 40 minutes of the movie. And your heart breaks for Barbie. It's like one of the best touches. It's kind of remarkable that they go to this very, not just it's a metatextual element with Ruth Handler, the creator of Barbie, and where they end up taking her at the very end, which is this white void, where she is like ready to discover things for herself. I would never want to claim to know the specific ideal way in which feminism is approached and how I should respond to that. I just thought that the idea from a story construct was fantastic. And I don't think I've ever heard a better last line in a movie than like, "I'm here for my gynecology appointment." It was just it's kind of a perfect script, and I really hope it gets recognized for that come next year. And Ryan, you were saying that you hope Robert Downey Jr. gets his Oscar. I don't know if he should win, but I definitely want Ryan Gosling recognized for it, because that's a tough role. And he just handled it so fucking beautifully. Like that is one of the best comedic performances I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah. Brad, you mentioned that you love the songs. What else did you like about the Barbie movie?
Yeah, a lot about what Zach talked about. One thing I didn't like though, and it's not that bad, but like the Mattel execs, like I thought it was a good scene to begin with, but the fact that they're threaded throughout the movie, it was kind of like, it felt like that was the part of the movie that felt like it would have been the Lego movie to me.
I can see that. Yeah.
And I kind of just wanted to be in Barbie land most of the time. And just like with those characters, and like, I think the bits they do have are funny and entertaining. Like they're trying to get through the turnstile and it's like, oh, the key card does work.
Yeah.
I like any movie that will remind me, man, I love Will Ferrell in movies. I want more of him, please. Because
I got into this job because I want to help little girls achieve their dreams.
Well, it is interesting too, because I mean, we forgot to say, but the real reason Barbie is having this crisis is not the daughter, it's the mom who works at Mattel, who is drawing cellulite Barbie and like waiting for death Barbie. I forget the name. But it also seems too that everybody in the world besides the mom and the daughter are like cartoons. Because even the execs where I forget the name of the guy who works in the cubicle, but he whispers it to one guy and the other guy, and they go around that circle until it gets to Will Ferrell. And the part where they're chasing Barbie through the Mattel factory,
it's just this
really
gray. It's this gray, like lacking an identity space.
Yeah, but it's very Scooby-Doo, where they're running one way and they don't see her. But I also will give hats off to Mattel for letting them be kind of like dissed throughout the film.
Yeah, the butt of
like
a
buffoons.
Yeah, the butt of a big joke. Yeah,
because it's even funny when, Ken comes to the real world and he realizes that men rule it. When he goes back to Barbie Land, and he does what's the name of his house? Casa Dojo.
yeah, Casa Dojo something. Yeah.
And then that becomes the hottest seller. It's just funny, and the way they incorporated music, even before I Am Ken is Matchbox 20's Push,
which is a gag twice.
Yeah, but it works so well because he's
pushing her around. Yeah,
the way they use the lyrics and stuff, and they're like, "Will you just come to the beach and sing that to me for like 4 hours?
Sing it at me."
Yeah, that's the best song I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And the fight that they have isn't really a fight; it's this huge musical number with them like throwing frisbees and stuff at each other.
The first time I watched the movie, I actually fell asleep like right at when Barbie's getting a pep talk from the mom, and then I woke up after like they ruled, like they put the Supreme Court back in order, and so I didn't know how Barbie solved the problem.
Oh man.
That's another reason why I saw it twice. But yeah.
That scene where she's getting the pep talk and the inspirational speech, that's like the moment America Ferrera finished that monologue, the whole theater erupted in applause. Like, Ryan, did you experience that at all, or was it just mine?
It was just yours. I mean, I had there was a lot of people in my theater, and I think it just landed differently.
I'm glad I experienced that, because I've never experienced that in a movie apart from Avengers Endgame, but that was essentially applause the movie. Like, I've never seen a dramatic monologue like that just get a round of applause out of nowhere.
Yeah, and that speech too, like I was like, oh, there's an Oscar clip right there.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Also, speaking of Oscar adjacent stuff, when they're trying to get people back to, when they're trying to, get the Barbies back to their, high powered positions and whatnot, and they're having to fool them through different, appeasing to men's egos. My favorite one had to be, can you explain The Godfather to me?
Yeah.
That was a fucking great joke.
Can you just talk to me about throughout the whole film about what it is? That's good stuff.
I also liked how they would occasionally throw like some Barbie products into the sky and they like advertise themselves. Yeah.
And I also love how they keep yelling at Midge. Like, say, no.
Like, oh God. Yeah. He's the worst.
Yeah. I thought we discontinued you.
And you mentioned Alan earlier, but yeah, Michael Cera's like big Duke 'em out fight scene in the middle of the movie.
Oh, what does he say?
I'm never gonna get out of here.
Construction guys, once they figure out they're building the wall upward and not sideways.
Yeah. There's so much to unpack in the film, and it's so well done.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the biggest surprises for me for the year. I mean, there's lots of talented people, obviously, who worked on it, but that it's that smart and that funny is, I think, quite the feat to pull off.
Like this movie hooks you from moment one, because the moment you see Margot Robbie holding a carton of milk, pouring it, and nothing comes out, and then drinking it, but nothing goes in. It's like it actually is like it is centered around how, as you said earlier, Brian, how a kid would play with Barbie, and yet they bring out this very adult concept out of it that is just so magical. Like, you're right, it is not. It's one of the biggest surprises, hands down.
I know. I can't wait to get beached off.
No, nobody's getting beached off here today.
I love too how disappointed Ken was that there's no job called beach.
Yeah.
Oh, when he's going
I don't want
through
to save people's lives. I just want to hang out on the beach.
when he's going through Man's World and realizing the man culture, I love how they just stuck a bunch of Rocky posters up.
Yeah.
It's like this is the definition of masculinity is Rocky.
Yeah, the whole
Well, is he wrong?
I mean, not really. No.
yeah, the whole furry coat thing is from Stallone himself, like in promo photos.
Wonder what he thought of the movie.
Yeah, and there's that scene where Barbie meets like the old lady on the park bench, and it was happening. I was kind of like, "What's this doing?" And then it makes sense by the end, like, "Oh, Barbie, is tired of being immortal. She wants some mortality to her life, so it has more meaning."
Yeah, it's
Also, shout out to Rhea Perlman for being wonderful as Ruth Handler. Like it could be seen as a thankless role, but she fills it with so much joy. Like she's just really good. It's nice to see her in a movie.
yeah, she so because it's been bothering me, it's Mojo Dojo Casa
Mojo Dojo Casa
house. Yeah, no, it's she's great in it. I mean, there's no weak parts in this film.
No, not at all.
And yeah, stay for the show-stopping moments of, I am Ken, and then when they're fighting on the beach, they're like, we were supposed to vote today.
Oh, that's right. We're supposed to do that.
Also, when he's getting after his first blowout at the beach, and he's in the hospital truck, and he's going through his whole thing, and I think it's the nurse goes like, "While you were saying all that, I fixed you up right away." Great.
Yeah, good stuff.
Oh, and then like Kate McKinnon's Barbie, like,
oh yeah.
Weird Barbie.
Yeah, weird Barbie.
And the way she moved, because everybody knows the Barbie that had her hair cut and always did the splits. I mean,
played with a little too hard.
Yeah. I had a cousin and she had Barbies, and she always had that one that was a little worse for wear because, you color on them and things like that.
We're sorry we made fun of you behind your back and to your face.
That's okay. I embrace it.
Yeah. Can I be on sanitation?
It's just good stuff. It's well done. Well done, filmmakers.
Bravo, Greta.
And a lot of it was achieved practically, which I thought was cool because I totally would have thought it was on green screen.
Yeah, I watched how they did the move from Barbie Land to the real world. Yeah, the transitions. It's pretty cool. We watch things throughout the week. In a segment I call What We've Been Watching.
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Brad, what'd you watch this week?
Go to Zach because I gotta remember.
Okay, Zach, what'd you watch this week?
I watched a lot, but one that stuck out was so I like the Marx Brothers, but I've never watched one of Groucho's solo films before. With Skidoo not counting because Skidoo's more of it's not really centered around him, even though he plays God, which is not anyway. Doesn't matter. But I've never really watched one of his solo efforts where he was trying to be a major star on his own right. So I sat down and watched Copacabana from 1947. He co-stars with Carmen Miranda. In it, they play a showbiz couple of sorts who try to get a job at the Copacabana nightclub, the famous Copacabana, but they can't get their foot in the door. So Groucho's character is given the idea that he becomes Carmen Miranda's agent, and he's able to sell her and a fake French singer act that Carmen Miranda has to play. So basically she gets hired as as two different people, and they're trying to keep up the ruse throughout the entire movie that, the woman that Carmen's playing over here is also Fifi, the French singer. And, It was it was a little, I guess I was prepared for it to not be good because I'd already heard that this film just kind of disappoints. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would, but not because of Groucho. It almost seemed like everything else was far more compelling than Groucho. Groucho is kind of neutered in the movie, and I think that part of it is that I needed to adjust to watching him play a character and not specifically having as much of his normal shtick as I'm used to. He is sarcastic and he carries some of the traits, but he's much more plot centric and plot focused, which he kind of does in Room Service, but it also kind of it tries to meld two things that don't belong together per se. This one gets a little closer to what it should be, and it does have some great sequences with him, but everybody else just kind of captured my attention. Like Carmen Miranda's very fun to watch in a movie. Andy Russell's in this film, and he's kind of played like, I mean, going back to the Barbie thing, it's almost like he's the Ken of the movie. Like he's got like the way he's got a kind of like a naivete about him that's just fun to watch him carry throughout the rest of the film. And for a movie about the Copacabana, I feel like that should have been a review, more like a variety show movie rather than a comedy hijink movie, because it's almost like you'd want to watch A Night at the Copacabana itself and not this muddly plot. But it's fine. It's worth your time if you want to just sit down and watch something on YouTube, because it's a public domain piece. So you can find it pretty easily, but it was a little disappointing, but I would encourage people to check it out just to kind of look at what the Copacabana was from a certain aesthetic and idea. Some of the actual Copa girls from that era are in the movie. There's some fun farce about, there's some good open door farce sequences in this film that I think are very well handled and very well edited. But overall it was, for somebody who likes watching Groucho just run around and cause chaos, it was one of the least, exciting outings I've seen him do. He does though have a great number that I guess was cut from Go West that they put into this film, which is a song called Go West. And the formation of it is interesting because Groucho, the character, is trying to audition a new singer, and they look on stage and it's just Groucho. But then they establish that Groucho's also in the other shot. So basically, I think he's selling a clone of himself. It's very unclear, but it's very funny. So, yeah, if you want to check out Copacabana, it is available all over the place because of the public domain thing. So just tune in and enjoy an interesting, if let downy kind of Groucho Marx outing.
Not a Barry Manilow to be seen.
No, that's another thing. This movie is seriously lacking Barry Manilow, and shame on this film for not anticipating his existence.
I was going to take the title of Bad Dad Jokes all day long.
His name was Lola. Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl.
Yeah, I'll come to you last, Brad. I really only rewatched stuff this week. Shout Factory put out Team America on Blu-ray with both cuts of the film and tons of bonus features. Nothing new, but they culled all of the bonus features from the DVD's releases, which is cool because the original Blu-ray that has been available has no bonus features at all. But I was telling Gloria because I tried to show Kellen funny things. And I asked her, I said, do you think besides the puppet sex, is there anything really that bad in Team America? And Laura says, you cannot show him that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to watch it and I'll be the judge of that. And I forgot like how many times it's just cuss words.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a great movie, but what really told me is like, yeah, maybe I should wait a little bit is the Kim Jong-il part where Hans Blitz comes in. And he's being eaten by sharks. He's like, Hans bitch, you fucking cocksucker. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe hold off on this. The movie's brilliant though. And it's been a long time since I saw it. And I remember one of my ex-girlfriends got so annoyed with me and Brad and I's friend. You might know Adam as well, Zach, but when we saw that in theaters, we couldn't stop laughing, and she was embarrassed because we were laughing so hard at it.
You lucky ducks. I had to wait for DVD for this. They wouldn't have let. I was too young at that point. But
that's why I dumped my girlfriend at the time. I was like, "Fuck you, bitch."
Oh, ooh. So origin stories coming out. I still love the line.
That's not true with that part, but yeah, that's when I knew she wasn't for me, when she wouldn't let me have fun at movies.
That's a shame. I still get a kick out of the line when Spotswood's trying to get him into the limo, and he goes like, "Gary, I'm not an agent. I'm not trying to fuck you, and my time is very valuable."
Yeah. I mean, my favorite line still to this day is when Gary becomes, a terrorist, and it's uncanny, but that he's on the back of the terrorists as they're driving away, and he's just flailing his arms, and it's like, it looks like he's trying to mouth something to us. Smart ass motherfucker. It makes me laugh every time. Yeah, so that's all I watched this week. I watched that and The Last of Us. That's all I've been doing. Mm-hmm. Brad, what'd you watch?
Yeah, I realized it was just some TV stuff. Star Trek Strange New Worlds I've been keeping up with, and that's just fun Star Trek, episodic, classic Star Trek. And they're doing a lot of more, for a show called Strange New Worlds, they're actually not going to a lot of Strange New Worlds. They're just doing a lot of character studies in this season. But yeah, it's still fun, and it's amazing to see that show on like movie quality special effects. And then I've also been I finished watching the Bear season 2, which if you've ever worked in the restaurant industry, the first season I thought was more compelling because the restaurant's really shitty, and everyone's really angry and stuff. And then this season's more of like, okay, we have the opportunity to do something great, and so it's just a bunch of artists like trying to be their best selves. And so it's a little less compelling, but someone mentioned it's like Ted Lasso, but a little more grounded and a little more realistic, I guess. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot more positive in this season. But yeah, if you've ever worked in a restaurant, I think it's probably a pretty triggering show.
Watch it.
Yeah, Ryan will get some flashbacks that are not welcome in the household.
Yeah. So yeah, other than that, yeah, I've just been watching the main movies.
I forgot to say before we end this episode, Helen Mirren, who did the voiceover narration.
Oh my
Barbie,
God, yes.
My favorite moment is when Barbie is complaining how she looks, and she says, "The filmmakers are well aware that this coming from Margot Robbie is maybe not the best."
Yeah, not the best casting choice to make this point.
I have heard a joke like that on a radio program where they're trying to insist that like somebody like Phil Harris would never touch a drop of alcohol, and they do like the views expressed by Mr. Harris are in the script and not necessarily his own. It's like, It was nice to see that kind of a gag return and just like completely break the fourth wall.
This week we're seeing Haunted Mansion. I mean, I don't know about you, Brad. You're busy making a movie. But that's our film of the week. All right, perfect.
Ryan, can I join you to witness some grim grinning ghosts?
Sure.
Okay.
Just make sure you jump in your doom buggy.
Ooh.
So yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the movies.
And remember, you are Ken enough, or you're a Knuff.
Yep, that's my next hoodie.
I'm just Ken. Anywhere else I'd be a 10. Using my destiny to live and die a life of longevity. I'm just Ken. Where I see love, she sees a friend. What will it take for her to see the man behind the tent?
Thanks for listening to Real Nerds Podcast, a Nebulous Visions production. Stream or download episodes, read articles at realnerdspodcast.com. Stream us on Apple or Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or iHeartRadio. Follow us on Facebook, Real Nerds Podcast. Twitter and Instagram at Real Nerds. Watch us on YouTube, Real Nerds Podcast. Email us at realnerds@gmail.com. Call us at 720-6nerds5. Thank you to Sparks Mandrill, Mike at Plan 9 Studios, and Bolognium for all of our groovy theme songs. And that's how you fucking do it.